the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war.
What's up, everyone?
I was warning Rob, you guys, that I might lose power. We got a giant thunderstorm coming through just over the time period of the show, like basically 7:30 to like 9:30. So if I lose power, sorry, the show's going to have to be cut short.
Or I'll rant about all the Novus Ordo crap I went through this weekend.
I didn't get a haircut. I just haven't had a hat on all day. This is what my hair normally looks like. Well, it looks like when I go to work. I look presentable, not wearing a hat. So, how was Novus Ordo land?
Oh man, it was rough.
I won't get into it too much because I know you and Anthony will want to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into it tomorrow.
Yeah. What? Was did anything specifically stand out and you just kind of like threw your hand on your face? And
well, so we the funeral for my grandma was Novus Ordo in a super.
Was she canonized?
Huh?
Was she canonized?
Oh yeah, that wasn't even. That was just assumed going in. I guess I figured she would be. Yeah, let's see. So the one of my cousins' kids, so second cousins or however that works out. One of my cousins' kids. So there's very few people in my family that are practicing Catholics. Everyone's nominally Catholic, right? But very, very few that are practicing. Like me, one of my cousins, and maybe kind of one of my aunts. So one of my other cousin's kids took the Eucharist back to the pew, and we had to make sure that they had consumed the Eucharist at the end of the Mass, because of course the priest didn't tell people,
Didn't have, like,
not to come up if you're not practicing.
We had our priest over. He's not our current priest at the Latin Mass. He's at the previous parish we used to go to before we went to the Latin Mass. And because he's baptized all my kids in the old rite. And we've had him over. And he has what he calls sentries, like ushers that are just specifically there to watch people to make sure that they consume the host. They've chased people almost out of the building before.
Nice.
Yeah.
They were in their 20s. So not a little child. It was a few of my aunts that were kind of in charge of most of the arrangements. I'm 4 hours away from them, so I didn't really get much of a say. Because they wanted me to do the readings, I chose the readings, and I just chose the ones from the traditional Mass. So that was easy.
Did you do them in the Do Your Aims?
No. I thought about it, but
been amazing.
I did think about it. Let's see. There was a eulogy that one of my other cousins gave during the Mass, which is a no-no. It was just bad.
And that is the responsibility of the priest because of poor catechesis, right? Yeah. And that's all. And not only that, but it goes further back than that because it's poor formation of the priests.
Yeah.
And then eventually follow it back far enough, it was done on purpose. Like the poor formation of the priest, which trickled down to bad catechesis to us, right, is what a lot of this is the effects of. And now that, what concerns me is before I was kind of like, well, this is just a demographics issue, right? As soon as the boomers die out, like a lot of this stuff will be gone. But now a lot of these boomer parishes are getting a bunch of converts. because the world's going crazy and people are actually starting to believe that, hey, there is a God, right? So they're going back to the faith of their childhood that they got poor catechesis in. Now these boomer pastors are getting a bunch of people again.
Yeah. It was yeah. I mean, this priest, I don't know this priest like personally, but I've been to a couple masses at this parish over the last few years. Like I'd go to Christmas mass with my grandma and stuff like that. This priest often like changes words, throughout the mass, against rubrics. In the offertory, not the offertory, but yeah, kind of in the offertory where it's been so long since I've really gone to the Novus Ordo regularly that I've forgotten what all the responses are. But the congregation says a response like your sacrificial offering, right? The priest loudly said our sacrificial offering. It's like
and invalid.
Yeah, it's like not technically form, matter, or intention, but I'm wondering if this is even a valid mass. So started off the mass with Amazing Grace, ended the mass with On Eagle's Wings. Yep.
It was like the stereotypical mass. Like they're like, hey, we haven't seen a bunch of these people in a while. Let's bring back the old hits. Let's get them comfortable again. Let them realize what they've been missing.
Oh man, it was
one of those. I'm gonna tell you something. It's no worse than in second grade at St. Teresa in Louisville, Kentucky. We were singing "Stand by Me" during mass, school mass.
During the mass, like after I did the readings, it was kind of a contest between me and my wife to see which one, like, Bash needs a diaper change. I'll change her. No, I'll change him. Like we're like, let's, to the point where Bash had a blowout. I'm like, no. I'll be the amazing husband and father and go change this diaper right now.
That's why sometimes when I'm at mass and I have to really go use the restroom, but I'm holding it, right? I'm like, I'm going to get through the whole thing. And then when my kids need to go, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I'll take them. I got them. You stay here.
Oh man, it was not great.
Yeah. We're in a situation where we just have to grin and bear it a lot of times. Because we just don't have the capacity to do anything about it. Listen to the Father Ripperger on the Sean Ryan show. And Sean Ryan specifically asked him, like, do you feel like it is your place to like fight against some of this stuff? Is it your place to, call all this out? Right. And he's like, all I can do, I'm paraphrasing, guys, go back and watch if you want to, but he's basically just saying it's just to do my job is all I can do. Right. And then he eventually follows it with, because at this point, there's nothing that we can do. God has to step in at some point because we are so far beyond of the human correction on this. And he's right. And when we have people who don't even believe in the same status of reality, when people think women can be men and men can be women, and they believe it with their entire being, right? And they will call you crazy, being crazy. We're at a point where this can. I saw my screen flicker.
The internet was iffy for a while there.
It's coming, boys. But we're at a point where this only God can solve this. And then we see everything that's been going on this weekend, which we'll go over here, start here in a minute. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yep. Yep, that's for sure.
Yep. All right, so
only God can help your internet.
Bro, I've got Starlink, but I haven't needed it the past few weeks. So I haven't really hooked. I mean, I've got it and it works and everything's all connected. But I have to run Ethernet cable from this room to the northwest portion of my shop, which is about 70 feet, to get enough. It's not gonna be one of those nights. Gonna be one of those nights. Gonna be a whole lot of because it's going to call in show. Even Mike, his is better than mine sometimes. Look, the past couple of shows we've had no issue, so I'm not trying to rock the boat here. Never ever compare me to that man.
I knew you were gonna like that comment.
And that there's an Alan Harrelson, and I don't call people with a PhD in history a doctor. You're not a doctor. You have a doctorate. You're not a doctor. So, I actually we have a pipe shop here called the Briary, and they're getting interviewed. And they're asking about like the most famous people that have ever been in there.
Yeah.
And he,
man, this is not going great tonight.
Look, this is what we're gonna do. You ready?
What we're gonna do here?
I'm gonna put it on my phone. We're gonna connect it to my phone. So let's do this. Turn my hotspot on. Boom. We're on my phone.
Okay.
That should be fine. I should have enough bandwidth to get me through the show. All right. Easy peasy. But anyway, they never mentioned Alan Harrelson once, which I thought was funny.
Wait, what? What did you say?
So the local pipe shop, the Briary.
Yes.
They were being interviewed by a YouTube show, and they were asked to name like all the famous people down there. We've had like Eugene Sledge, like all these local famous people, but then some other.
You'll have to explain to people who Eugene Sledge is.
Eugene Sledge was in the Marines. He also taught at Montevallo University. He's a very famous Marine. He wrote a very famous book about the Marines. Was it called the old breed? Is the name of it?
Yeah, it's the with the old breed.
Yeah.
At Peleliu and Okinawa.
Yep. But he's a local Alabama celebrity pretty much because of his service in World War II. He's been in there.
He's if you've heard the name before, you've likely heard it from the Pacific.
Yeah.
He's not a character, but he's portrayed in the Pacific.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyway, they named him once, even though they have wanted to create a blend with him and for him, basically to be able to sell based off of his name.
Yeah.
And I guess his popularity's dropped down so far that they don't want to do it anymore.
Alan Harrison?
Yep. Couldn't happen to a better person.
Oh man. I've never watched a thing of his. Never really, outside of some interaction on Twitter and the comments he keeps leaving on our videos. He's got
TLM derangement syndrome.
He does, yes.
Like bad. Because I don't know why. He has been to the Latin Mass and he's seen how good it is. And he's a history buff, so you would think he would want to go to the oldest Mass. But for whatever reason, he's got a blind spot on it, and he just.
Do you think it's
It's exactly who it is.
Like
I'll say.
Like super ultramontanous sort of thing. with him?
I don't even think it's that, because he wasn't a big fan of Pope Francis.
Okay.
Right. I think it is if he accepts that the church can promulgate a deficient mass, then what else have they done that's deficient?
Hmm.
And I don't think he wants to come to grips with that. So he's just going to assume. And it's probably also because he doesn't have access to it. Right.
Yeah,
he may
right.
feel
Because
bad
he's
about
up in
that.
the mountains somewhere, right?
Well, he's in Kentucky right now, but supposedly he's moving back to South Carolina.
Okay.
Which good. Get out of my state. You don't belong in Kentucky. Get out. We don't want your kind around here. Go back to South Carolina. So where do we want to start tonight? Like,
Oh, I don't know, man.
let's start with the comically bad hand grenade thrown at the police.
Did you put stuff in the notes?
I have put nothing in the notes because this stuff is so easy to find right now. I didn't bother with any of it.
Fair, understandable.
If y'all, while Rob's trying to find that, I'll talk for a minute about it. So there was a protest. It was a counter protest to protests of a conservative protest, and a bunch of Islamic folks were up in New York, and one of them threw like a cartoon bomb at the cops. It was like a big round ball, bigger than a softball, with like a wick coming out of it. And they threw it at the cops, and it apparently had real explosives in it. It had some shrapnel and, nails and other, small loose change. So there's a certain tiny hat people who would love that, but
Oh my gosh.
it was
Wallet trick gone wild.
And then we come to find out the house he lives in is worth about $1.8 million. Right. But in New York, that's like, it's like $500,000 down here. Right. But
still, like, these are immigrants.
Yeah.
They live in houses that I can't afford.
Yeah, exactly. So it was, and then later that night, there was an incident with a vehicle that was tied to the bombing. And now I just saw a thing about an hour ago. They were raiding a storage facility in Pennsylvania that is also tied to the bombing.
So I do have video here.
All right, let's see it.
So this was it was thrown at Jake Lang, right? Who is one of the January 6th guys.
Yep.
But who himself is like, I don't know, probably a plant or something like that, it seems like. But anyways, so here's a video.
We want everyone here to stay in New York. Outside and then tell everyone else.
So you'll hear him scream the usual battle cry.
Aloha snack bar.
Yeah.
Outside and then tell everyone else.
So it's hard to see from this angle, but the over by the flag, that's where the conservatives were. I wonder if I can get a different angle here.
And just to know, if they had even just put like a pound of explosive in there wrapped with nails, you'd have had a dozen or more people dead or maimed.
Yeah. Okay, let me find a different video here.
If you can find there's a picture of it. See if you get a chance to find the picture of what it looked like when it landed by the cops. Because there's a picture of the cops trying to jump over the barrier, and then it's laying on the ground.
I think this is this it there?
Looks like it. You remember from the cartoons, they always had like the black ball.
Oh yeah,
like the wick coming out of it. That's what it looks like.
Like the bomb on
yes,
for Mario. So here's a slightly different angle. Same area, but from the opposite direction here.
So you'll
We were
see
born
his.
and raised in New York, and we want everyone here to stay in New York. You don't get to come from outside and then tell everyone else.
So yeah, there he is there. So you can see it in his hand there. Let's see.
Like I can laugh now because it didn't go off. But okay. And Sarah Adams made a good point earlier that these people are comically bad at making explosives. Like most terrorists, even terrorists in Afghanistan, they blew themselves up more than they blew us up.
Well, even like going back to the 70s, the Sudanese Liberation Army, that they blew themselves up in, right?
Mm-hmm. Old dude had a 6 head.
So here is the second bomb, I think, right? That he drops literally at the feet of the police.
He's like Wile E. Coyote. Like, someone just needs to paint like a tunnel on a wall and get him to run into it.
I'm trying to see if I can find the angle from the protester side. Not seeing it right off the top of the thing here. But anyways, I think everyone gets the idea.
The major issue with the Mohammedans is there is so much incest that goes on in Islam that it's like the IQ is just crashing. But especially in Pakistan. I don't know where this guy's from. I haven't looked into that. There's so much going on there.
Of
Can't
the two
research
people that were arrested, one has parents from Afghanistan and one has parents from Turkey.
I know that, like, especially the Pakistanis and some Uzbeks are, like, 70% of them are bred within a first cousin. Like, they're married first cousin. Some are marrying brothers and sisters. Look, Ocean's one of us, y'all. He may be underage, but he's one of us.
Got pictures of the home here. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Okay, here we go.
That's even still like still a big home.
2.25 $2.25 million home. Ibrahim Kuyumi's parents in Newton, Pennsylvania.
What do you call that? Newton?
Newton.
Newtown?
Do you think they pronounce it Newtown or Newton?
Is that not an N at the end of that thing?
Yeah, I'm saying an N at the Newton.
Are you saying like with an accent they say Newton? Or are you saying like is it really pronounced Newton?
I don't know. I'm not from there.
Because there's another W in that word.
There is, you're right.
Correctly. Look, y'all shouldn't need reading lessons from a guy from Alabama. This is going the opposite way. Y'all should be teaching me how to read.
You're the one with the advanced degree, remember?
I know, it's so sad.
It's so sad.
The poor hick down here is having
so yeah, there's the two.
I mean, look at that forehead. The sloping frontal cortex, right? The huge brow, the sunken in cheeks. There's
a
physiognomy lesson here.
But what was the specific?
It had a second W in it. It wasn't Newton. It was Newtown.
Okay,
now they may have
Newton.
misspelled it.
So yeah, there's the home again. 5,800 square foot house with 6 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms.
That's a big house, and it's on a lake.
Yeah,
or a lake.
Well, not a lake. A drainage pond, more like.
Yeah, that's like a water reservoir or something.
Well, actually, I think that's just a flooded field.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. So that's event 1 from this weekend. And so what else happened this weekend?
They evacuated the Kansas City International Airport.
Did that turn out to be anything?
Other than just a bomb threat, I don't think so.
Yeah, because I like it. It seemed like it went away without fanfare. Like there was not, but it caused delays around the whole country.
Yeah. So there was that. What else was there?
There was a guy arrested going from Birmingham to DC on a flight who was arrested for claiming that he was going to blow up the plane.
Was that the same one where everyone tackled him to the ground, to the aisle?
Maybe. The U.S. Marshals eventually came in and got him, so I'm assuming he was subdued somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a bomb threat there. What else happened this weekend?
Here's a better picture of the actual bomb. I mean, that's literally black duct tape, guys.
Hey, they sprung for the good stuff. That's Gorilla Tape.
That's
why I didn't go off. They held it all in like a cartoon. It just went.
I suppose $2.25 million house, they can afford the Gorilla Tape.
That's right. Nothing but the best for those terrorists.
With our taxpayer money, I'm sure.
If it was electric tape, it would just ballooned out and come right back.
So Kansas City, we get the New York bomb in Kansas City. That other plane incident. What else was there?
And then there were. So here's my question, because I just don't trust anything coming out right now about it. But the Iran attacks on Israel, I'm having a hard time sifting what's AI and what's not.
I know.
And I'm having a hard time. And there's nothing coming out from Israel at all.
It's crazy because 2003, we go into Iraq, right? Start with shock and awe. And I watched the first 2 weeks of that thing live on TV as it happened.
Yep.
Now here we are 23 years later. I can't hardly find a thing.
Yep. And now I haven't seen so much of the Armor 3 lately, over this weekend anyway. And I haven't seen too much old footage, but I did see where Israel hit Iran's oil fields and that black.
Saw that.
Right. And that's not AI, apparently.
No, that was.
And then I saw an interview of a guy in front of the burning field. I was like, that's got to be AI, not AI.
Turns out that was real.
Yeah. And he's just like talking calmly. It's just plumes of fire, 300 yards behind him. But then I see videos of attacks in Israel where like all these cluster munitions are coming down, but I can't tell if that's real or not because there's nothing coming out of Israel hardly. Like they've clamped down. They've even resorted to taking down a lot of the CCTV and traffic cameras, so those can't be leaked to the internet. Then I saw Netanyahu's brother died supposedly in a car accident, even though his house burnt to the ground. And the fog of war has now been given like extra smoke from man-made grenades, right? It's gotten so like I can't tell what's going on.
I've seen it.
Maybe I don't need to know. Maybe that's God trying to protect me from my own fear of missing out. But
I've seen a few videos of the CRAM systems taking stuff out coming into embassies. Those are cool.
Yeah, but then we've seen so much of that stuff from video games that is that real or not? I can't tell. I've had to watch a bunch of things. I'm trying to show my wife. I was like, I can't. Because before when it first started, I was like, this is obviously AI. This is not where. Like my favorite one is the plane being chased by the guy on the carpet with an M16.
Yeah.
Do you know how many boomers that is jacking up right now?
Yeah. Man.
Like, what kind of technology they got? They're flying on carpets. It's hilarious.
What do you mean? What kind of technology they got? Have you ever watched Aladdin?
DOJ's been doing that for a couple of weeks. Anything with the Rothschilds has been deleted off the Epstein files. That got done about a week and a half ago. Yeah. And then the priest in Lebanon?
Yeah, you got what's her balls from Daily Wire, Bree Dolly, claiming that it's the Muslims that killed the priest when really it was Israeli
Israel.
strike.
Yeah. And then we have the cardinal out of Iran
Who
who's fleeing for his own
escaped
safety.
Iran. Yep.
Yeah, that's the kind of man that we need. Apparently, that the red martyrdom that he wears doesn't really sit well with him. It's not something he's really down to do.
I understand. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm not gonna go after a guy too hard for that.
I will.
Fair enough.
He has no kids. He has no family. He shouldn't have a family anyway. His job is to be there and provide support and spiritual guidance to his people who are experiencing all this violence right now. He goes down with the ship.
It would be
Right?
one thing if it was specifically due to like persecution from like the Iranian government, as opposed to like, I just don't want to get wasted by a bomb that goes off target, like.
But still, like, what kind of spiritual guidance are you going to give from, where did he go? Like Abu Dhabi or something? I don't know. So, you know, like, what is he going to do? He's not helping his people whatsoever. That would be like me running away from the house because we might get attacked by robbers and leaving my family here. His responsibility to his parishioners and those people in his diocese is just as important as it is to me and my family. And his only job is to die. At this point, he wears the red of martyrdom for a reason.
Is he an actual ordinary of a diocese in Iran, or was he like just a nuncio?
I mean,
because if he's the nuncio, then he's really like an actual like Vatican diplomat employee. So he has no.
But he's still a cardinal.
I understand. I get it.
I
do see where you're coming from.
But I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to give him the benefit of the doubt when his job as a diplomat does not supersede his office as a cardinal.
Well, yeah, except if his office isn't there, though, is what I'm trying to say, right? If he's not an ordinary of that region,
but if he's the nuncio there, that his
like the nuncio to the United States is not responsible for any souls in the United States.
In the United States, he's the one who raises bishops.
He suggests them to the Vatican, sure, yeah,
but it's like it goes through him.
Yeah,
like no one's getting raised without old Pierre, whatever his name was, before he retired. Right,
Vigano was the nuncio.
Yeah. So I have no, like, he is supposed to emblemize and symbolize what it means to be someone willing to die for Christ. And what he showed is what most priests have shown us. They care more about their own skin than they do about anybody else.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else happened this weekend.
Well, supposedly the Strait of Hormuz was closed, and then now they're saying it wasn't closed, and then they were saying it really was closed, and now they're saying it's not closed.
See, again, it's a bunch of information. What I do know is 2 more ships, Iranian ships, were sunk.
Yeah, I mean Iran actually has 2 separate navies. They have the Iranian Navy, and then the Revolutionary Guard Navy, right? And I think I'd heard within the first few days that the normal Iranian Navy, which is like your usual naval boats, not like the US's, of course, but like your corvettes and your frigates and maybe a destroyer here and there, that they were all sunk within days. And then all they had left then was the Revolutionary Guard Navy, which is like your irregular, fast attack sort of boats.
Yeah. So
I don't know if they have any of those left even now.
Well, because then the other threat was from missiles.
Yeah.
Right. They're like, well, the Iranians might shoot missiles. Boats are moving targets. Those missiles aren't hitting moving targets.
Right. These are not anti-ship. Iran, whatever Iranian anti-ship missiles they had would have been Actually, probably whatever. What's the U.S. Harpoons? Whatever harpoons they might have had on the old F-14s. Those are long gone. So
Yeah.
no, they don't have anti-ship missiles. They have.
And we did get confirmation they wiped out all the final F-14s.
No. Definitely one of my top 5 for sure.
But we all love it, and for a
Everyone does,
specific
right?
reason. And there was a specific movie
Well, okay. Yes,
that
Top
we all
Gun.
love it from. That's the reason we all love it. The same reason we all like to play volleyball in jeans with our shirts off and just our dog tags on. It's the same reason. We all love Top Gun.
Ain't no way anyone wants to see me do that, bud.
All right, so then is that it from the weekend before we get into like all the crap that happened today?
What am I?
We're speed running through this stuff, guys. There's too much.
Well, there was the thing that came out today about the possible sleeper cells, right?
Yeah.
What else though was there?
So let's talk about that for a minute. Supposedly ABC News put out a report earlier today that a Iranian message was intercepted stating that they were activating sleeper cells. Okay. So after I did a little research on it, I was thinking like maybe it was some, I don't know, some like, I don't know, the number station maybe, right? Or maybe they were, right. Or maybe they were doing it through some type of low frequency radio communications, something, right?
Right.
It comes to find out it's two things. One, they're talking just through Telegram. Like they're just sending messages through Telegram. They're not even trying to hide it. Right. And two, they captured basically a piece of a comm equipment that they use to talk to their informants, right? Or the same thing that like Intel, case officers would be using to talk to their informants or their human intelligence operators, right? So two things from that. One is I don't think it's very unlikely that there was an actual message that needed to be sent to activate any sleeper cells. They probably have standing orders that if this, then that, right? If at any point Khomeini is taken out, activate. Right.
It's the only thing that makes sense for a decentralized thing like that.
Right. But that doesn't mean we have any less responsibility or we should be any less alert and aware of the situation right now.
Right.
Because we've talked about before in previous shows, we have 18,000 known terrorists in the United States. We just don't know where they are, apparently. Our surveillance state sucks. It can only find like far right white dudes, apparently. And then as well as we also know that the border was porous. The northern border is still porous.
Yeah, you can. The border is 20 miles away from me right now. You can get across that thing like no problem.
Yeah. So I think it would be wise for everyone just to raise your alert level. You need to be carrying with you at all times. You need to be carrying an extra mag with you if you're only carrying a pistol. But if you're capable and able to carry something that's a little bit higher caliber, right? So like me, and I'm probably going to do a video on this, just kind of showing you what I have or what I carry, right? Like my truck gun, I don't care if it gets stolen, right? Because it's not the best truck gun. Well, it's not the best gun, right? I think the optic on it was more than the gun itself, right? But like I can hit, 1.5 MOA at 100 yards. That's all I need it for, right? I have a micro trust rig in my car. It's got 3 mags. I've got a 20 round mag in the rifle so it can fit in the space of my car easier. And I don't carry plates with me in the car. I'm thinking about doing that just in case. But I also have to realize, like, I'm in Birmingham, and the chance of something happening here is very low. They're going to target those of you all that are in very blue cities, right? St. Paul, Minnesota, Chicago, New York, Philadelphia, Cincinnati, right? Whatever. They're going to target you all before they ever target some of these southern cities as much, because just, a very high percentage of people down here carry. And so we are not as an easy target as a lot of these other much more Democrat areas. Yeah. But it doesn't mean I can slack and not be prepared for it just in case. Because the situation is, if something happens, if I'm by myself, I'm probably going to do something. If I'm with my wife and kids, I'm getting them the hell out of there. Right? Where I'm just getting them out. Right? That's all I care about. Somebody else can do it. But that doesn't mean that I can't be prepared just in case. Right? Because if something does pop off, I will never be able to sleep or forgive myself if I could have done something and I didn't. Mm-hmm. Right. And there, as the line in the movie goes, there are things that are far worse than dying. Right. And having to live with regret your entire life, knowing that you could have done something, is way worse to me than dying. What is the Telegram? Somebody's asking for it in the chat.
Let me put it in the.
Where'd it go? There it goes.
Let me put it down there real quickly.
Yep. So those of y'all that aren't in the Telegram, it's fun. We have a good time there. We have a lot of good discussions. Man, this thing, I'm burning up.
Modesty, Adrian.
My 5-star alts. What?
Modesty.
Don't want to show you all my guns. Might get us kicked off of YouTube. But join the Telegram. It's great. We share our live information. We have a lot of good discussions there. I'm sharing some good deals that I find. Some other guys share some good deals.
And as Ocean learned, and we should make clear in the Telegram.
No minors in the chat. And that's really just to protect some of the other members there, that when we talk about topics that it's just to protect the majority of people in there. We have had one individual who is welcome back as soon as he turns 18, right? But that way we don't have to worry about issues, we'll say, coming up because of the age question,
especially dealing with firearms, stuff like that. Like, it's just it's the best, because as Adrian said, the FBI, they'll find our Telegram. They won't find the ones with the Iranian sleeper cells. Mm-mm. Or Israeli sleeper cells.
They won't find old Habibi's Telegram and go after him.
No,
they come after what they consider far right white dudes. Speaking of which, with Telegram, it's been too long, guys. But we're getting into spring, so we're going to do another competition. This month's competition is going to be, you're going to build a bug out bag or a get home bag, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And the goal is I want you to have it built, and I want you to record a 30-second video going over. You don't have to show yourself, just show the bag, show what's in it, and explain why you have what's in there. Right? Just do 30 seconds. That's all I need. I mean, you go a little longer than that. Don't try not to do a 20-minute video. Or do 30 seconds or so. Say what's in there. Say why you put it in there real quick. Post it in the Telegram in the competition tab. And I'll do a random draw for everyone who participated for the winner this month. Look, man, y'all don't need to nag me every 6 months to get something done. Okay. I'll get this out. I'll get it out. So I still have to send out the prize from the first one. I'm getting as bad as Anthony. We still have to send that prize out from the first one. I have to declare a winner from the second one.
Did you get the address?
Yeah, I got the address. It's in Telegram.
Okay.
But we only had like 2 guys do it last time. 2 or 3. Wasn't that many. That's why I want to do something like everybody can do. You don't have to worry about, hey, I don't shoot that well. I don't care if you shoot that well. But the goal is for you to go out and practice this stuff. So that's why I want to do the bug out or the get home bag, whatever you want to call it. Just do a bag, put something in it, whatever you're wanting to put in it, explain why you have that in there, right? And then we'll do a random at the end of the month to see who wins, everyone who participates. And that the goal here is to get you all doing this stuff. And the incentive is free merch, right? That's what this whole point of this is. So everyone has a chance of winning. Man. So with the white one that Anthony gave me when I got there, that thing has shrunk so bad it's a crop top now. And look, y'all don't need to be looking at my belly. It's not like my belly's like 2A certified.
2A certified?
Yep. Not 3A. I ain't stopping it, but I'll stop a nice good pellet gun.
I didn't know what you were talking about. Like Second Amendment certified? Are you saying your belly's a weapon or
No, 2A.
2A?
Yeah. Man, what did we
Why aren't we all sponsored by lobsters?
I don't want any sponsors. Well, that's not true. If somebody wants to send me free ammo, I'll be fine with that.
Ammo? Yeah.
I would do that, or send me targets and I'll test them out for you. Stuff like that. But yeah, I don't need the money, guys. It's all at all. This is just for fun. It's the only reason I do this.
Adrian's definitely not Ant if he's giving away free merch.
Well, let's be honest. Ant's probably got a little tiny hat blood in him.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Y'all are goading me. What is so did you see the post by Nick saying he's got a big announcement coming?
No.
You didn't see that? So I'm assuming you don't know what it is.
No. Have not talked to Nick since Anthony gave him the dressing down.
Y'all know it. Old Cheney's not in the Epstein files. He just did it for the love of the game. No, none of you want a Thomas girlfriend. We're just going to reiterate this. None of you want that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One, she's autistic, and you don't want an autistic girlfriend. Right? They're so rare anyway, an autistic girl, and you want the one that likes Thomism. It's not a good idea for you.
Didn't Dirty Civilian just do a poor person's gear video? Like
yeah,
gear?
they did. I don't know if they did it specifically for like a get home bag or anything, but like PNW Gorilla does a really good one. He's all about the cost saving gear. Whether I want to continue patroning him or not, I don't know yet.
You might hear a lot about Tataria.
Tataria.
Watch his recent stuff.
God, he's got to be trolling, right? I'm hoping he's just trolling. It takes 30 seconds of research to realize that's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Right. Specifically with like the what was it? The World's Fair stuff we had in Chicago.
The Chicago World's Fair, yeah.
Yeah, those were all just plywood and 2x4s.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
They were meant to look good for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I did a pretty good get home bag video, and it was all, I mean, nothing in there was expensive at all.
For stuff like that, like if you're not talking like plate carriers and chest rigs and
yeah,
you can get surplus stuff for that even.
Yeah.
But for get home bag stuff, like most of it shouldn't be expensive.
This bag was $15. Okay, this is a USMC day pack. I got it for $15 plus shipping. Okay, which I mean, I actually got a good deal on it because it's in good condition. These mechanics gloves I think were $20 at most. This Petzl light was probably $20. This Shimag was free with purchase. I don't even remember where I got it, but I remember I didn't pay anything for it because I would have never paid anything for it. I got these Bushnell binoculars at a yard sale. So like you don't, and I didn't even got the main pack yet. But
The
there's
most
no need
expensive stuff is probably going to be the first aid stuff because you can't
Yes, you do not want to
cheap out on
buy.
that.
Yeah, you do not want to buy cheap first aid gear whatsoever. Especially, do not buy a tourniquet off of Amazon unless it's North American Rescue.
Yeah.
But I don't even think. I think for a while there, Amazon was selling the Chinese stuff, and that stuff's horrible. Do not buy that stuff. There used to be a company called Tacticon that gladly sold them, saying they were just as good. They're not. The windlasses break all the time. So don't bother with it. But yeah, do not skimp on the medical. Just spend the money on it. And if you want to buy something really good, I suggest Refuge Medical or Dark Angel Medical out of Texas. They're good. We might even wrangle Chris into making some IFACs and selling them for us. Right.
Dude.
We'll just promote him, get him a nice, retirement business he can do.
That's not a bad idea.
And we'll slap our label on it. It'll be the Guns and Rosaries, I don't know, boo-boo kit or something.
Yeah, make sure he gets what he needs out of it.
Yeah.
Above cost. And then I don't need any money from that.
But medical's the last thing you want to skimp on. But like I've got some old boots that I keep in the car because I usually wear dress shoes to work. And I'm not walking 22 miles home in dress shoes. Although they're real comfortable, I will say. But yeah, I've got boots and stuff. I've got to change of clothes. You don't have to spend a lot of money on it.
No.
Just have a reason for why you have it in there.
And if you do camping, hunting, stuff like that, you've got all this stuff already.
Yeah. And if you don't, you can get it on any surplus site.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of surplus out there. A lot. There's Venture Surplus. You've got Kushiki. You can Sportsman's Guide. There's all kinds of businesses out there. I don't suggest P&W Grill because he's going to take 3 weeks to send it to you. Right? It's
It does take a while.
Right? If you want it within a week or two, do not buy it from him. But they were, and that's just what they'll do. Guys, I'm a dad. I'm going to have some dad jokes in here. It's going to happen. I do have some medical as far as prescription drugs.
So that's one thing I've been looking at is those the prophylactic sort of drug drug supplies is maybe not the best way to phrase it, but for anyone who doesn't know, there are companies that you can buy from that will actually have a doctor give you fill out prescriptions for prophylactic antibiotics and other common common prescription drugs that you would maybe need in the event of a big emergency that
I don't have them in this bag. I got them in my other pack I take with me everywhere.
They want me to pop a Percocet for the chat. I won't do that. But
I've got
I am gonna pop a knick-knack.
I do have some a good place to get it is Wiseman Company. They're out of Florida. They're affiliated with Barrel and Hatchet. If y'all watch any of their stuff, Wiseman Company has it's like $20 and it's got a bunch of medication in it. Ibuprofen. It's got some water purification tablets in there, I think, some Neosporin, Band-Aids, medicine for dysentery, things like that. It's got a bunch of stuff in there. It's like $20. Yes, I could. If you want me to, I'd be happy to do that for you. Oh. You cracked us up at AV last week.
What? Oh, I have not had a chance to watch either Thursday's call-in show or Friday's show with Bentila yet.
Thursdays was fine. It was Thursdays was like an hour of just them talking about the end times and all that, and then they got into questions after that. There's a few funny ones in there, but Fridays, I was listening to it as actually at the gym when it was going on because it's the only day that I got to go to the gym last week. So much going on, but him and Mike, man, were just going at it. it was a good show. We'll say.
I talked to them both a little before the show started, and then jumped out right as the show was starting. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I learned some more about that whole situation. That oh man,
Look, when people tell you who they are, listen.
it's worse than you think.
And sometimes it's through their actions, and sometimes it's through their inactions. But listen and pay attention. Wagner dipped out before I could even say anything to him, and I wouldn't even say anything to him. I don't even dislike the guy. He's just, got thin skin like a little baby. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Oh man.
Yeah, Friday's show was fun. It was nice to laugh and lift at the same time.
Oh, you listened while you were lifting?
Yeah, that was so. I hadn't been able to get to the gym at all last week. So Friday night was the only time. Oh, apparently Nick left Pelican Plus. That was his big announcement.
Oh, we
all knew that.
knew.
We all knew that. We know that wasn't new. We kind of knew when you weren't posting any videos.
All I'm going to say to if Taffy were to watch this, bro, you're a lawyer and you're the one who did that.
Yeah.
And then was worried about it afterwards.
She can't do anything. It's fair
No,
use.
She can't.
There's not a damn thing she can do. She can get her feelings hurt. That's about it. But that's how. So that is how you know that how coddled she is as a woman. She, instead of solving her problems herself and talking to someone, she wants to bring a man or someone else in to solve it for her. Right? That's what bringing the attorneys in is.
Always.
Right? Wanting to sue somebody. She, instead of solving the problem herself and talking to someone, she wants to get someone else to solve the problem for her.
It does turn out she definitely was not the one who complained to a sponsor.
I didn't think she was.
No.
I don't, and none of the vitriol should have gone towards her until she did the, threatening litigation.
100%.
Then it's now you're a free game. Before that, you're off limits, but now you're free game. I watched the show Ocean. I laughed at it. I watched it on the way. I had to go to work. No, I was on my way to the gym. Where was I? I feel like I was on the way to somewhere on Sunday when I watched it. Maybe I didn't watch all the show. I don't know. I don't remember. But I saw you, brother. I saw your work. That Christine Harrington, whatever her name is, that woman's batshit crazy.
She thinks the Blessed Virgin has visited her twice.
Hey, you better not go against her. She'll sick the Blessed Virgin Mary on you. Let's see. So
I don't even know where. Wow. The thumbnail was changed so that the person who made the thumbnail and used AI for Katie. The photo of Katie was changed from AI to a real photo. That way, no one could get in trouble for making an AI likeness of her.
And you can't get, because once it's on the internet, it's fair use. So she can't do anything. Nobody can do anything about it anyway.
I think there could maybe be an argument that if you use AI to portray someone in a bad light that is not true, then. But we made her look a little angry, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like we made an AI photo of her killing someone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. So do we want to go to Twitter only or X only?
Yeah, we can do that. We're at an hour. What do we want to do on Twitter?
I don't know. We take some questions and answers.
Yeah,
we'll do some question and answer stuff for y'all. And then
I do have a new gun to show over on Twitter.
I bet you do.
I do.
I'm excited to look at it. I am.
Yeah, you should be.
I should be.
Should be.
All right, guys, we are going to transition to X only. For those of y'all that don't have X, sorry. Like, I'm not
Don't know
going
what
to
to tell
cater. You all pay me nothing, so I'm not going to cater to you whatsoever. You should get X just to watch us. Get one account. Follow 2 people, me and Rob. You don't need to follow anybody else anyway. But follow us and just watch our show on Monday nights. But we're going to transition over there, and we're going to play y'all some funny videos that we had somebody make for us. Well, one funny video and one funny
But
picture.
we're gonna play. You're gonna play.
It's on my phone, and I'm on my phone right now on the internet. So I think you have to play it. You can show the picture and the video.
Can you send it to me on Telegram real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. You do that. I'll remove this from YouTube. We're going dark on YouTube right